Hey everyone, Neil here with Email Splat. And it's been about 48 hours since we got card view inside of our Ontraport accounts. Very exciting. And I know I dove right in, started working on it, but I'm getting a lot of email questions, Facebook messages, just a lot of questions in general and about this new card view. And surprisingly, what is really surprising me is the number one question I'm getting is, how do I use it with tasks inside of Ontraport? And that's kind of shocking to me. I never saw that coming. I mean, yeah, I could kind of see that, but I really figured this was going to be about sales pipelines. And I know for some of my clients, that's exactly how we're going to use this. Doing B2B sales, we're going to be doing a lot with sales pipelines and setting up stages. You know, the stages are already actually set in a lot of these accounts, and now we just turn it on and make it visual. And I know inside of my own account, I've already been experimenting with that, and that's exactly how I'm using it. Moving people through the sales pipeline, new leads, prospects, customers, whatever, moving them through the pipeline. But I keep getting this question about tasks. And so, you know, can we do tasks with cards? Yeah, kind of. So I've come up with some ways we can do that. But what this really is bringing to light for me is that people are really confused about how to use tasks and what tasks are for. Because the whole task with cards thing, I think it's trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist, if I'm correct, and maybe I'm completely missing the boat on this. So if I am, you know, comment, tell me what you think, your thoughts on this after I finish my little rant here. But I'm about to go on a rant about tasks. And so I did build a system inside of Ontraport to track tasks, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But before I do, I want to share my thoughts on this because for 99% of people, this is completely wrong. Don't do this. You shouldn't be doing this in your account for a number of reasons. Reason number one, it's going to add complexity. This is just going to make your account more complicated. Reason number two, you already have tasks. Tasks are already in here, and there are ways that you could track tasks with visually, but I don't think that really solves the problem, because to me, to do a task right, I still have to go inside that task. I have to update some information on the contact. I have to tell Ontraport what happened. Maybe I want to make some notes. I can't do that by dragging and dropping a card. So just being able to drag and drop a card through a series of tasks doesn't solve that problem. I don't even think there is a problem, because I think Ontraport has designed a great way to use tasks. And so this comes to the next point that I have, which is that I think what people really need to do is step back and plan a process first. I know, process. But yeah, I think that's kind of the bigger issue, is because I see people trying to use tasks, or I have in the last couple of days, people are asking me about this in a way that is not scalable. And Ontraport is an automated platform, and the whole idea of automating is to scale. And that means we have to have a process that's a system that we can scale. And so let me just show you an example here. So this, where did that go? This is a process I've been working on with a client right now about creating and automating onboarding for live events. And we've got, you know, all the way from we're creating events all the way to people have attended the event. And throughout this, there's probably 10 different tasks built into this. We will not need card view for this. Card view is going to make it harder for us for this. Now, maybe we want to visually see some contact records, but as far as, you know, I'm going to drag and drop cards and update tasks, no, because we're going to have to go in and do things with those contact records. So just dragging a task isn't going to help us. So I think what I find when I work with clients is that they're trying to scale a system that isn't scalable. They're trying to automate the unautomatable, or whatever that is. Because when we start working on a process like this, it forces us to think about how to streamline and efficiently work within the company. We improve the business by this. This is not so much about Ontraport. We start out with the goal of how do we use Ontraport, but 9 times out of 10, what actually ends up happening is we improve the business and we automate it with Ontraport, because we take things and we streamline them, we systematize them so that every situation fits in some box. Whereas I'm getting a lot of requests from people who want to use cards with tasks, and really what they're trying to do is project management, and they're trying to do one-off unique tasks every time. And that's not what Ontraport is for. Ontraport is for scaling the human touch, right? It's for scaling these human pieces. And if every time is unique, that's not something you can really scale. I know in our company we use Asana. I'm a big fan of Asana. And yes, there are parts of that we can automate with new client onboarding. Definitely with sales pipeline, we can automate things there. And like I said, cards are really going to help there. But when it comes to the tasks of creating a customer's project, like this is totally unique to this customer. That's not something I can just have a checklist of tasks and do. Yes, there are some types of things we do over and over again, but the details are always different. And to try to do that inside of Ontraport, honestly, just becomes more trouble than it's worth. That's what Asana is for. Asana is good at that kind of thing. Ontraport is really good at repeating the same tasks over and over again. And I think that is part of the issue, is that people just don't quite understand what tasks are for inside of Ontraport. So the first step here, I really think, is plan a process first, right? So we have that figured out, and we understand that we are really streamlining the business and streamlining the output that we need. Second part of that is really dig in and start to understand how to use Ontraport. How to use Ontraport for tasks specifically. How do tasks work in Ontraport? I know when I first started, that was one thing that just was way under my radar. I never, it's all about marketing funnels, right? We're just building marketing funnels. And it was only until I got to, like level 2 of Ontraport, there is no level 2, but my own thinking, my own level 2 thinking of how to use Ontraport, that I started to see, oh wait, this task thing is pretty cool. And once I started to use that and was able to program that, opened up a whole lot of doors for me with clients and how to use Ontraport in their business. So I think first, have a process, and then 2, really understand how to best use Ontraport for that process with tasks. And then, and only then, if what I'm about to show you still makes sense to you, and you think that, oh yeah, that's the best way to do it, use this. But like I said, for 99% of people, I think this is a bad idea. But it's something that I've had multiple people ask me, so I'm going to show you that yes, it can be done, but I really challenge you to go back and just look at your business. Don't just look at Ontraport, look at your business. Don't just start building things inside of Ontraport just to be building things inside of Ontraport. That does not advance the cause, right? Where the cause is let's streamline the business, let's make the business efficient, let's make the business scale, and just throwing stuff against the wall does not accomplish that goal. All right, rant over. So let's jump in, and I'll show you what I built. And even if it doesn't fit for you, it might give you some ideas about how to use cards and what cards can do. So yeah, let's do it. So inside my test account here, you'll see I already have some objects built in here. I've added a new one I'm calling service requests. And what this is, it's really just its little own mini task system. It's just kind of replicating what Ontraport can already do with tasks. So that's why I'm pushing back and saying, don't do it. It's already there. But it's kind of replicating what's already in tasks, but it's kind of its own little mini project management system, which is what I think I'm hearing people tell me they want to do. So that's why I'm making this. Again, feedback, tell me I'm wrong. So anyway, service requests are related to contacts in a one-to-many relationship. So one contact can have many service requests. And if I go in here to my service requests, here we go. I've got a card view. And let's just look at all first, what I've got here. So here I've got, I added 7 service requests in here. You can see I have some colored columns that I made, some really basic information. And we go into, I've got 2 different views I made. Let's look at type view first. So I made this type view, which is the type of service request. And that's what the columns are showing me. I did onboarding, technical, billing, and cancellation. And you'll notice that these each have their own color. So onboarding, we've got yellow, blue, green, black. But we've also got colors down here on each individual card, and they don't match up to the colors up here. Well, that's because each individual card, the color I'm showing here is the status of that request. So in this case, green is completed, yellow is in process, no, is waiting for information from customer, blue is in process, and red is new. I don't have any reds here. So I don't have any new tickets showing here right now. So now I've got these columns. I can kind of sort and see at a glance where all these are in different stages, how they're coming along. I probably don't want to drag and drop between these here. Oops, that didn't even work. Oh, there we go. I don't think I want to drag and drop because I don't see the type changing. So this is probably just for a visual view of things. Now I made another view here that I'm calling status view. Now this one is organized in columns by where they are in the process. So I got new tickets, waiting for response, in process, and completed. And yeah, so I can go along there. And you can see the different stages then of where these are at, and then the colors now are telling me what type of ticket it is. So blue is technical, yellow is onboarding, green, and so forth. If I drag one of these, so if I take one of these and I can move it along, and now it's, instead of waiting for response, it's in process, whatever that means. I just kind of made these things up. Your results may vary. If I drag it to completed, one thing that happens now is that I've got a rule here that's automatically updating the completion date. So it's filling that in based on when it gets changed to completed. If I go click through now to the customer, on the customer side of things, you'll see that I added in notes and tasks, I added these requests. So this particular person has 2 requests, both cancellation requests, both completed. So I can see those 2 requests here. Let's go back into service requests, and I'm going to make a new one just to show you something else. So the other thing I've done here is now, here's my different drop downs. So I've got a new ticket, date received. We'll say I got it the other day, request type. I'm going to say onboarding on this one. And here I have a long text field. If I can put a description of the request, so I can describe what we need to do. And because I cannot put long text fields in list view or card view, either one, I've got kind of a summary. So summary of my request. And so I could have just a 1-sentence quick that I could put there so I could see it in the views and on the cards. Then I want to relate it to a customer. What customer do I need? We'll put it with Steve here. And so now I've got this related to Steve. Now if I go back to my card views, So let's see my new ticket for onboarding here. Something else I want to show you. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. So I've got my new ticket for Steve. If I grab this and I complete it and I move it over to the completed column, like I said, one thing that's going to happen is you're going to see that completion date automatically fill in. But the other thing that's going to happen is in Steve's account, in his contact record, we are going to see that we're going to update a field there as well. So now Steve is updated to current over here. And we did that based on the fact that it was an onboarding request and it was completed. I was able to update this field over in his contact record. So now if I wanted to, I could also have a card view over in contacts showing where people were. So I could kind of mirror the two with another drop-down field. Now this one is just current or past. It's just something I already had in there and I used to create this little test just to show you. But if we go back into this request, the other thing I wanted to show you is that we can also filter, right? So I've got, here I'm just going to show open requests. So here you're going to see that I don't have any green cards on here. None of the completed tasks are showing anymore. I am only showing you tasks that are not completed. These are the only two open requests that I have in the system. And I did the same thing by status. So I've got, I filtered out again all the completed. It's minimized over here, but it doesn't even show any because I filtered those out. And all I'm showing are new, waiting, and in process. So here's a way you can build some of the things I think I'm hearing people want. Again, this adds a lot of complexity. And again, I think I need to dig into each one of these. I don't know that I'm necessarily just going to drag them because I'm going to want to update information in their account as I'm doing things, in which case I think tasks are better. I don't think that you want to have this in that case. So maybe I'm way off the mark. Maybe my rant is totally missing the point. Love to hear your thoughts. Inside, for my Ignite members, I'm going to be doing a deeper dive on this, including how I got the contact record to update and even how you could automatically generate some of these service requests based on what happens inside the contact record. So again, sounds a lot like tasks, doesn't it? So I don't know that this is the greatest thing, but it's something you can do, and just because you can doesn't mean you should. So want to hear your feedback, want to hear your thoughts about what this is, and how I would love to hear more about how people are using cards, what you guys are trying to accomplish with cards. And I love solving problems, so give me some problems to solve about how to use cards and I will do it. All right, talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend.